Hello and welcome to this edition of Saturday. Um, man, I've been telling you I feel like I'm in a good place and all of that. Well, that changes really quick. Uh, I don't know. I've been sleeping better. Figured out some problems with that. Really had me upbeat. My depression has really gone away because of that. I feel like, still always there. But man, sleep. I got a CPAP, and I know it's not for everyone, but man, I'm really regretting not doing it 10, 15, 20 years ago. Um, it's really made a change in my life, but going with that, it's been some trials and tribulations as well. Work, still good. We just having issues directly involving me. So that's never a good thing. Nothing to stress like losing my job or nothing like that. But uh, things happen in my job very fast and quickly. When they go, it goes really fast. Um, and it is what it is. And you just hope everybody's better off for it later. And so with that being said, it's been a rough week. So me and Dad, I had to be at work 12 and a half hours on Monday. So we did not do our live on Monday. We will be back this Monday if everything goes as planned. Um, that's how my week started off. Uh, with also working overtime over both days over the weekend. Not as young as I used to be, so it just kind of all runs me in the ground. Thursday didn't really have much anything set ahead for Thursday. For Nerdy Thursday, I had a few things I would like to have done, but I couldn't have done them the way I wanted to. So without some thought, it would take a little bit of thought and planning for it, and I just wasn't there. And if I can't do it and do it the way I want to do it, this is not a big production. I don't have to have all the glitz and glamour and the cuts and uh, I do what I can um, and have fun with it. But I also want to have like what I do, and if I can't do it the way I want to, I just won't do it. That's why on Wednesdays, if I don't have anything to really show off new stuff, I just not going to show. And I just I do enough videos. I think y'all are with me on that. And, I don't like just to fill airways. So there's plenty of channels out there that I'm happy to watch and everybody else happy to watch. And I hope everybody comes back to me when I'm ready to show something, because I want to have some, if not all, some meat on the bone when I'm showing it. Something to really sink your teeth into and enjoy and sharing with you. Uh, and also, I've said it before, a lot of this, I did like the Pete Alonso. It wasn't just to show it off, it was to also have a video diary of it as of where I'm at right now in my Pete Alonso, especially with him leaving. Well, most likely, I said that last year, he was back. With the chance of him leaving the Mets, he's a free agent. So literally, he has left the Mets. It's all about if he comes back or not. So, and then today, I was planning on doing some stuff again. I just kind of got home yesterday after work, running errands. Seems like I always got one thing to do, and I can't wait to move closer to work, so I can be in that area. I don't have to drive in a lot of traffic and run errands. If I can run errands and do all that, I like to have my weekends free. Then my car messes up this morning. So Monday morning, I got to get that checked out. It's it says the brake is on and it's not on, and it makes a noise like a beeping noise in my car. It was just a light. I wouldn't give a shit. I used to drive with a check engine light on forever that wouldn't go off. I drove for 5 years with a car like that. I get something done, and check engine light goes off for a week and comes back on. It was just the way it is. And I had a tow truck come out because I thought it was locked up. And while we were there, we could hear the brake release. It just didn't. The light wouldn't go off, and it drove fine. Wasn't in. And so, enough about my personal stuff. But I like to talk. This is what my Saturday is. Just kind of where I'm at in the hobby. Also, I don't know, and I like to know from y'all. Like this time of year, do you start kind of because of the year, time of year, end of the year, holidays? Getting closer and closer to tax time, and that's on your mind. And a lot of things tend to come up at this time of year, where maybe your budget changes, right? And that's where kind of I'm at. There was two big shows, or one bigger show, one medium show, within an hour from me today. And I was planning on to go to one or the other to my car. Luckily messed up here at the laundromat doing laundry this morning. But I'm kind of glad I didn't go, because then I really, really saved money. I had the money to go. It's just I could use it on other things, hold on to it, use it on a different day, somewhere else. Because if you're like me, if you take it, you tend to spend it on something you really not 100% into, and that's what I'm trying to be at right now. If it fits my collection, I am passing things that I used to not pass over. I was watching Maiko had a live sale. Check out his eBay store for all your wants and needs for the hobby, what you're collecting. And I passed a lot of stuff that in the past I would have probably bought. Some Mike Trouts, some other Skeens, Mets players. Now I did pick up some Griffey's, a Frank Thomas, a bench, but that's who I collect. And I don't go after Griffey's and Frank Thomas as hard as if there's a card I really like of them, or cheap enough where it just I can throw it in my binder or whatever. But if it's an expensive card, it's got to be something that's really eye appealing, or a reason. Like I have plenty, and that'll probably be some autographs I share later. Now King Griffey only got one. That'd be a quick video. But Frank Thomas, I got quite a few. Griffey's autos, there's no shortage of them out there. I don't know if he's done a lot of in-persons like Frank has, but there's no shortage of them. But they're expensive. They usually round in the $450 range, and $375. And it's just tough for me on a secondary or tertiary PC to spend that, right? I really, really clamped down on my Gary Carter, Pete Alonso, David Wrights, Johnny Bench, even some of the vintage before. I don't know, but in my mind, I think some of the catchers have moved in front of Griffey and Frank, even like Star Wars, some Star Wars autos that I'm looking for. So I'm always got that mental list in my brain what I'm shopping for, and that money value was on the scale, right, with what is going on in my life. And this time of year, I was just wondering how many people out there, does it really change, or you're lucky enough to have one income. I always tell people that people don't, you know, I understand that most time it's a couple, they have children. So, and that's enough this time of year with children, you really, I think if I had children, um, my house would be decked out, for the holidays. I haven't done trees or anything in years. It's just not something I really care about. I love lights. I love Christmas lights. I'll ride around. I used to ride around family. I'll still do that. I love to look at Christmas. I'm not a Grinch by any means. It's just I don't need it in the house. I just, once I leave, I like looking at it on the streets and all that. But for me right now, I have this month has been not nearly as many pickups or expensive. I did, like I said, I picked up a Pete Alonso a week, and I should be getting it here pretty soon if I haven't already got it. I did get my flips, my four card flip that I got from Sport Lots. Sold 200, got 4 cards in return. I'm having a decent month this month. So far, I'm ahead of my low end of my range that I like to do. But yeah, I mean, I don't, because I gotta, so, holidays, I wasn't going home for Thanksgiving, but I am. It's not like I spend $1 billion to go home like I used to when I flew. I just drive up there, drive back. I have an economical car, even though I had to put a new battery in it on Tuesday with everything else going on. So that we had a cold morning and it was having problems cranking, and I took it in, got it checked. It was dead, a new battery. So, it's just little things like that. And still, life is good, in a good place, but it just reminds you that all of that can be taken away very, very damn quickly. All of it just could be swiped away from you. And, my biggest fear is losing my job, really, at my age. I don't want to start over. I've worked hard. This is the longest place I've ever worked at. It's the most technical job, the most intriguing job, the most brain use job, the most can have the most physical labor. It's but it can be the funnest job. It makes me use my brain. It's a lot of things, and I really like it. So thank you for listening to me for that. But my biggest right now with the hobby is everybody's hobby life changing at this time of year? And then at the first of the year, does a light switch turn on, or get the holidays behind you, and then it's off to the races for another year, or how does it work? Because there in September, it just seemed like purchasing was down for my stuff, and then all of a sudden October it went up a notch, and now it's kind of going again, and it's stayed that way for about 6 weeks, and it just made me think, because where I'm at, where I sell, it's an ebb and flow, and you got to have the right stuff out there, right mix, and I don't think that website has as many people as it used to have about 5 to 10 years ago. Go across it. But it does have enough where I get rid of stuff, and I'm happy to do it, help out, even though I get the occasional grumble over an 18-cent card that it wasn't as described because it's got a round corner or something. I'm just like, it's 18 cent. Here's your 18-cent back, and you're just keep it. You compete. Here's $1.50 for shipping and 18 cent. Um, so, and I guess that's my fault for not describing it correctly. I guess that I have to deal with that, even though it's not my first job, and I'm trying to be careful. I've talked about this before. Like, my real job is stressful enough. I don't need something that I'm just selling cards for funsies on a cheap site, and put all this time and effort for at the end of the month it's $200. That's not my time or effort. So I don't put much time in it every day. I put about an hour into it at the most. Then I go about to whatever. Now it is part of my hobby. So sometimes when I'm sitting here watching a ball game or something, I'll list some more cards or whatever, just because I just like, I can't. It's hard for me just to sit still and watch TV. It always has my whole life. Uh, I've always had to be doing something. I can't just sit there and watch a TV show. It is very, very hard for me to do. Movies, all of that. It's always been hard for me to just sit there and watch it. Now, if it's something that captivates me, I'm trying to think. Uh, you know what? Like, yeah, the what is it? The one with the raccoon and all those. The Galaxy, the second one. That was over before I knew it. Documentaries will do that to me. There is a documentary on PBS that came out 3 days ago on the Revolutionary War with Kim Burns. I really want to see that. I've seen some things for it, so I really want to see that. And yeah, we're on 250 years, you know, so it's been that type of thing. So I have not bought a lot this month, in anything. I think I bought a couple of Stormtroopers that comes out. They usually do a holiday one. They do one at Easter. They'll do one at Christmas. So I bought one of each. I already had a Halloween, and I got the Christmas one. It's not always a Stormtrooper. I've seen a Chewbacca one before. I forget some of the other ones I've seen. Um, but usually they do a Christmas Stormtrooper. This year it's like a gingerbread man. Uh, I did pick up another Stormtrooper from the Mandalorian. It's just like the other Stormtroopers. It just has Mandalorian on the front. If you're a collector, it's got a different title on it, so it's a different Stormtrooper. I have to compare it to the other ones to see what's different about it, if anything. Uh, and they know that they can just repackage stuff. I mean, they do that with figures anyway. They'll use the same figure, paint it differently, and call it something else, and it's the same figure. Or they'll take heads, change heads on the body. That's it. So that's how they do it. It's not a scam. It's just what they do, and we eat it up. Just like cards, just like baseball cards. They sat there and made the holiday card. It's the same as the base card. They put a little holiday direction around the side of it and they call it. Then you got to get it for your player or team collection or whatever. Oh, it's a catcher card. It's not like the other catcher cards or whatever, for whatever reason. And you got to get that one. And they know it. Sapphire, all that stuff. And I mean, they do it in every anything they make now. They just do variants and we eat it up with a smile on our face and ask for more. It's funny. You sit there as you buy it and you're like, oh, this just looks like it's just a different one. And I'm just steadily putting it in my basket. I come home and I'm happy to have it. I'll put it right on the wall next to the one that's from the New Hope or whatever else. Because the package says Mandalorian, it's got to be different. Uh, you know, so I don't really have much going on this week. Tomorrow night, I'm going to retouch on something we talked last week. Hopefully, I'll have a couple of friends on again. I would love for my man Wesker Griff to come on. This is something that we'll talk about. We've touched on before. I want to go in a different direction on something with all of this. Something that got me thinking was my childhood a scam. Something that we all in the hobby looked at, and it describes us. Most people, you say one name, and it describes our hobby. We all have a story about it. The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm like, is that a scam? And we'll talk about it Sunday night. And it's just a thought process, just to talk it out with all you guys. So until tomorrow night, and please let me know below. Are you still sticking with what you're doing? I'm always, you know me, I'm always looking for the deals. Not going to try to overpay. I don't care if somebody's bidding it up. I know what I'm willing to pay, and that's it. I just move on. I go on about my day. It ain't worth crying over spilt milk, right? Just pour another glass. So until tomorrow, like, share, tell a friend, subscribe if you haven't. Welcome to my new subscribers. And until next time, see ya.